That was my tag. Who are you?
And I am yours truly, Chaunel Christine.
I prompted her, and you didn't see me. He upset you. You cut him off.
She did prompt me.
I did prompt.
It's her fault.
It is my fault. I take full responsibility. Not only that,
I am Tyrone D. Brown Sr., a.k.a. the Bishop.
yeah.
Why are you AKA the bishop?
Because I am a bishop. I'm a pastor.
What makes you a bishop?
She was a chess piece.
Because a bishop and a pastor.
Yes.
Thanks.
Because I was ordained as a bishop by my spiritual father, by the organization that I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
So I went through the process of being ordained as a bishop.
What are the roles and responsibilities that differentiate a pastor from a bishop?
Well, a bishop is over more than just his church. He's over other churches. He oversees. It's more of an administrator. I tell people, people they want that title, but it's really more of an administrator. And I really focus on the role as pastor because the sheep need the shepherd, and I believe shepherds smell like sheep. So that's why I focus more on the role of as pastor.
Okay.
But we live in a day and age today where people are falling away from the church.
Yeah.
There is an exodus. Churches are declining. Mega churches are no longer mega churches. And the response from the community as it relates to churches has changed over the years. People are calling for the church to step up. People are calling for pastors to step up. There are pastors that are falling away and backsliding. There are churches that are being divided. Pastors that commit suicide. So is that just the trend that we are to accept, or are there things being put in place in order to rectify the situations that are going on? Talk to us about that.
Well, I don't think that is something that we should ever accept when somebody gives up or somebody's quitting or throwing in the towel. I believe there are things that we should put in place, or I believe there are some that are putting in place far as being more relatable. I think a lot of the decline is that a lot of churches or a lot of pastors, bishops, apostles, whatever title they want to carry, I don't really get into titles, but whatever title they carry, I believe they're not as relatable as they used to be. And I know that ministry or church is a business, but then you still have to be able to relate to the people. If you can't relate or identify with the person, then you can't reach them.
What do you mean by relate?
Which means, like identify with them, be in their presence, relate to them, understand where they're coming from, what they're dealing with. And the only way you can understand that is by being out there with them.
Yeah.
Does that require transparency, though? Because
most definitely.
More often than not, when I witness, is that I can't live up to your standards. I can't live up to your expectations. Pastors preach about what you shouldn't do, but they very rarely talk about what they've done and what they have themselves have been delivered from.
Right.
So being in the trenches is one thing, to be where they are, but it's no different than, Trump coming to a black rally. You haven't been black.
Right. Exactly. You can relate. Exactly.
And that doesn't mean put on blackface either.
I would love to see Trump come to a black rally. I would love to see that happen.
He has.
Yeah.
He has.
Is that the one is that the one where somebody started playing music and he started ducking?
I'm not sure.
And he thought he was being attacked?
But that's how he was trying to get the black vote. In fact, he would buy preachers. So
most definitely.
If a church needed a new roof or a new HVAC system and they couldn't afford it,
he was funding it.
Basically, yeah.
Just so that he could
get the votes.
How do we know this?
Because it was in the news.
Oh, everything in the news ain't true, though.
CNN has reported such, and other news
Did we see bank statements?
I'm not a part of the investigative team, so I don't know what evidence that they have.
Yeah.
But once again, this is what was reported, and the pastor of the church corroborated the story and said yes.
So we do have some corroboration.
Oh yeah, we have corroboration.
Oh, okay. Well,
one-sided.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's both sides.
Huh.
See, y'all look at the roof. There go.
Now,
God will
where
provide.
the funds were funneled through and from some offshore account.
Oh, that was a terrible statement.
Things of that nature. I don't have.
That was wrong content. Trump is not God. Let me correct that real quick. I said God will provide. God will make a way.
Well, let me tell you,
Go ahead, girl.
God
tell
will
me.
provide. He will use
He will, but
whomever he
somebody-
has to
Exactly,
use.
The reason why
To
I
get it done.
the reason, yes,
The wealth of the wicked is laid up
for the righteous.
Exactly.
And
And
I
the
am
reason-
not calling that man wicked.
You're right.
It's not my position to do so. I'm just saying.
But I am righteous, so checks
That
can be
the
made
wealth of the
payable to
wicked is
Dr.
laid up.
Bizness.
Hey, no, they can be made payable to Divine Touch Multimedia.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we need right there in our lives. But I had to correct myself because, like I said, everything you hear ain't true.
Right, of course not.
And then people would take what you say out of context, which is, I think, one thing that has pastors and apostles and bishops on their P's and Q's and walking on eggshells sometime, because people like to twist the good around for bad, because what is it? Sex sells, scandal sells, drama sells. That's what society thrives off of. And then, like you said, I was shocked to hear that pastors are committing suicide.
Most definitely.
Absolutely.
Most
I
definitely.
had no earthly idea this was going on.
Who do they go to? If you carry the weight of the congregation,
God.
Leads to leader.
then who does the leader turn to? Right?
God.
Yeah, but
Encourages the leader.
you have to go to more than God. You have to have somebody in the earth.
Absolutely.
You have to have.
You
You have to have somebody that you can, like, as I said, be relatable or identify with. Yeah, as she was saying, you got to be able to identify with somebody and say, "Look, I was there too," or "I did that too." That's why I tell people all the time, "What's on my birth certificate is Tyrone Brown. It's not pastor. It's not bishop. It's not man of God. It's not any of that." So before I was any of that, I was Tyrone, and that's who I am.
So, and I'm asking because I don't know. Who do pastors go to? Do they not have like, and there's female pastors out there too. Do they not, what's the word I'm looking for? Go. Well,
Counselors.
my question was, do they not not collaborate? That's not the word.
Ecumenical fellowships.
That is something like that. Connect with other men and women of spiritual leadership.
They have leadership conferences.
Or are they
but it's
Right.
taught how to be a leader, not how.
So
to
they don't
be-
like in other words, you have like a spiritual brother or sister that you call.
Covering. A
Yes,
spiritual
I have
covering.
a spiritual covering, spiritual father.
Most
Okay.
people
Yes,
should,
that I go
but
to.
not all of
Yeah.
them.
But I would think that pastors would connect with other pastors, but are they in too much competition for that to take place? Like, I don't know. Again,
I don't
I'm
think
not
it's a thing of competition. I think it's a thing of relationship.
relationship.
Right, because if I don't have a relationship with you, I'm not telling you my dirt
Right.
because I don't know where it's going to go.
But here's the thing: going back to the word relatable, I'm sure this pastor over here can relate to what this pastor over here deals with and go, why don't we come together? It's like we're
That's
the
the
only
question. That's the
we're
question
the
right there.
only
Because we
minority that don't come together.
Now, the most recent unfortunate suicide was a white pastor.
Really?
Right.
Well, what happened? What was this?
This
You
was
brought it up.
last
I know
month,
the statistics. I
end of
don't know.
September, early part of October.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I think you asked the right question.
What's
in
that?
Why don't
we?
they?
Why not? Yeah.
Why don't they, Bishop? Why don't they?
I believe it becomes an accountability issue. Yeah, exactly. But I believe a lot of people just don't want to be held accountable.
You hit the nail on the head.
So
That's it.
I'm not going to come to you. I'm not going to come to you because, first of all, I don't want you to tell me what I can and cannot do or what I should or should not do.
At that level.
So because now I so-called made it. I'm here and I'm doing it. So I don't need you to tell me that I'm wrong.
What's at the root of that, Bishop?
And a lot of people don't like to hear that I'm wrong.
Absolutely.
Is it pride? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely pride.
It comes before a fall.
Yeah.
And if we get the accountability that we need, we want to be accountable to somebody who's going to think the way we think and believe what we believe.
Yes, ma'am.
Just like we do on the carnal level.
Right.
I'm going to call up my boys, hey, this is what happened, hoping that my boys will agree
Right.
my action because I need somebody to sign off on it to make me feel good about what it is that I did.
Yes.
Wowzer.
Yes.
Which is why it's important that your circle is not full of people who will not hold you accountable. was having this conversation a couple of months back with my dad, and I was saying, oh, no, talking about a good friend of mine, and I was like, that's not acceptable. He was like, well, wait a minute, she's her own person. I don't deal with friends who don't hold me accountable and don't allow me to hold them accountable. That's not love to co-sign my foolishness.
Because most people don't understand what friendship is.
Right.
Friendship is a two-way street. You're feeding me, I'm feeding you, we're growing together. Most friendships are one-sided.
You are so right about
I'm
that.
giving to you, and the minute I stop giving to you, guess what? You're no longer my friend.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why even in relationships and friendships and circles, you never want to be at the top of that. I never have my circles that I'm the top of it. I want to be, and I hate saying it like this, but the dumbest person in my circle, because I want to grow. I always want to grow. I always want to be better than what I am. So if I'm always on top, then everybody's coming to me, and I'm never ever getting what I need or being fed myself. So you always want to have somebody that has accomplished more, done more, and doing more. But most people in this season, in this day and time, they want to be the end all be all, and that's why they can't.
More than one circle.
Exactly.
You can have a circle where you the end all be all,
Yes,
and you the head honcho, the HNIC.
Yes.
But then you also need to be a part of other circles.
Exactly.
Where you low man on the totem pole type of thing.
What is HNIC?
Mom will tell you.
Oh, it just came to me. It just came to. Never mind.
She mixed. She don't understand.
I get ready to say, is she really asking that question?
I did not know until I had to think about it.
The white side of her family.
Light bulb.
I look at my friendships as a Ferris wheel. We're all going through this circle of life, but there's going to be
The Lion King.
right. But there's a point in time when I'm on top, and then everybody else is looking up to me. But then I need to shift.
That's good.
Because
That's real good.
and I agree with what you said. You know, I don't always want to be the smartest one in my group, but if I am the dumbest one, then I'm just gonna feel like, you know, the chick that hold all the coats at the club because don't nobody want to dance with her. So I need to feel.
But we need those people.
Because they are important. They are important.
Should every joint make its supply though? I mean, even in the circle, everybody has their
Here's
role.
my
Everybody has their
and
role.
that's exactly
And we
what I
all
was about
have
to
strengths
say.
and weaknesses.
That's
And I
exactly.
always talk about staffing our weaknesses.
Yeah.
So you need to know yourself.
Right.
Yes.
Myers-Briggs.
Yeah, self-awareness.
Self-awareness, and understand where your strengths and weaknesses are, and then complement that by having other people around you that can help hold up your arms. And,
And
You
that's
gotta have an
exactly-
appreciation for the other
That is-
strengths
Absolutely.
in the group.
And my way of thinking about that is, because you hit the nail on the head right before I was about to say it. Thank you very much. It's okay for me to be the smartest person in my group in a particular area in my lane, and then there's a smartest person in my group, but they may be in accounting and successful in this, and I may need some help with finances. But I can capture stuff, I can broadcast you, I can advertise you, I can market you, and I'm the best in that area. So I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna bring your accounting entity up with my skills, but now you're gonna help me with my finances with your skills. So I think it's okay to have a lot of the smartest people in your group just in your lane.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because when all of them come together, like you said, they're going to be able to be strong where you're weak and vice versa.
Right. And as she said, is to have the appreciation for that,
Yes.
and not the intimidation.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you can't appreciate it because you're so intimidated, or you feel like there's a hidden agenda somebody always had. So even that's on top is not trying to help you grow because they feel like they can be intimidated. So now they have a hidden agenda and they don't want you to come up, so they don't give you but so much. So it has to be an appreciation
And
for it.
there's a season for everything. When I talk about having friendships on the Ferris wheel, sometimes we get to the bottom and somebody has to get off and somebody else gets on.
You
Exactly.
got that
That
right.
is really why I use the analogy,
love that analogy.
as a friendship
That is
as a
good.
Ferris wheel. Sometimes the two people on this side are equals. You know, there's somebody on top, two are equal right here, and then there's one at the bottom. But if you look at it that way, you're all giving, and there's balance in a Ferris wheel.
Exactly.
You see a Ferris wheel spinning in a wave, so there's complete and total balance where we are all in agreement as to what we mean to one another. For me, that's what my circle looks like. My circle knows each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
My true circle might be 5 deep.
Exactly.
That might be. But there are times when we actually bring someone on board so that they can understand what that unity looks like. They're not there to stay, but they need to understand that there's a sisterhood, there's a couplehood, there's a friendship, and this is what we look like. We fight together, but we hold each other accountable. And then at the same time, you know, we're supporting one another in their endeavors and things like that.
So going back to your example regarding appreciation versus intimidation, how do you identify who appreciates you and who is intimidated by you?
Well, yeah, your actions always speak louder than your words. So it's what you do, not what you say. Just like when people say they love you, you can tell me you love me all day long, but if you never show me that you love me, then that doesn't mean anything. When Jesus died, but even before he said God so loved the world that he gave, he showed an action. He didn't just say that I love you, he showed you that he loved you. So even in appreciation, they show you by showing you how much they appreciate who you are and what you've done for them.
Yeah. Okay. Actions speak louder than words.
Most
Love is an action word.
Yes.
You agree? Do you concur?
I concur.
I learned that word from you a
It is
long
an
time
action
ago.
word. And that's with anything.
Yes.
You really, because back in the day, even with our children, we could tell them to do something, but yeah, we doing something different.
Exactly.
Nowadays, children, they go by what it is that you do. So not what you say.
Right.
I'm going by what you do.
This is what I saw you do.
Exactly. So if you do it, I'm gonna do it. So there's a higher level of responsibility.
I saw a little clip where a little girl was playing with her sister or her friend, and she said, grown-ups always tell us to be nice to each other and say nice things and stuff. You ain't doing it. Why you tell us to do it and you ain't? You know, like she literally was calling out. You say share with your friends. Don't talk bad. But you be in the kitchen talking about that, you know.
Yeah,
so
yes,
you're
yes.
sponges.
They're always watching.
Right. Very observant. So.
And then when you go to church and you come home, and now you're talking about the preacher man and giving him a grade and that kind of thing. But yet your children are in earshot of that. And then when they get old, you wonder how come they don't want to go to church.
Right.
Because you badmouth the preacher man the whole time.
Right.
You know that is one of the biggest things that keep the young people out of the church is that it's full of hypocrites.
Yeah.
You're in the pew with your hands raised, and then before you can get out the church parking lot,
Right.
You talking about Hilda's hat and how big it was, right?
You know, and it's like, nah, I don't want that.
Right.
Yeah, but I combat that a lot, and the way I do that, I say, but they do that on your job too, but you go
Every day.
So why are we making an excuse for church?
There is a tangible benefit to showing up to work.
Okay.
You can touch that paycheck. You can remove the money out of your savings account. When it comes down to God, you have to believe that his presence is there, that he exists, and that he's going to live up to the word.
Right.
The word. You know what I mean? You got to believe that it's going to happen before you get to the action part of it.
Because that's where faith comes in.
Right.
Right.
And
but
the problem
even
is
the tangible of that is that then when you experience God, and that's the problem. A lot of people don't have that relationship one-on-one with God, because when you experience him, then I don't care what anybody else does.
Absolutely right.
I already have what, because in 2009 I was healed from colon cancer. So you can't tell me that God is not a healer.
That's
so if this person fall down over here and don't want to do right, that's not going to detract or deter me from doing what I'm supposed to do.
Right, because you've experienced his
That's
greatness
right.
directly and not through
For yourself.
somebody else.
Somebody else,
Right.
yes. This ain't my
Which is
mama's
why
testimony.
Sooner or later, you're going to come to the realization.
Sooner or later.
That's right.
My
Now,
Jesus is
hopefully sooner.
I cannot.
But sooner or later.
What they say, you can drag the horse to the water, but you can't make them drink.
Exactly.
You can make them thirsty though.
That's right.
You can make them thirsty.
Why we got background
The
music?
problem with that is that you give them muddy water and they'll still drink it. So that's the challenge that we have. Because people will come thirsty and they'll come hungry.
Yes.
What are you
And
feeding
then you
them?
muddy
Yeah.
up
Exactly.
water.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Family, we're going to take a quick break. You're tuned in to the Profit and Growth Hour here on WDRB Media.
The voice of the community.
Great.
When we come back,
my Jesus is
Mr. Brown got to tell about his broadcast and when it airs, because we didn't do it.
We will.
That was like 21 minutes.
Sir, where's your church?
York, South Carolina.
How long take you to get a bill?
I live in Gastonia.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody has.
But I ain't but like 15 minutes from my church. So.
Tyrone, is your phone silenced?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
What's that? 26.
I filled mine out. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You're standing
yeah.
closer to me. So I'm like,
Name, email, phone number, and sign and print right there. Yeah, because we have to put this number on her and put it on his too. Is it Sunday?
Did start, right?
Yeah, we started. No, we didn't. Still got stuff. Let's go. Yeah, if that red is still on,